Hello there and welcome back to Let's Play Two Worlds 2. I am the RNGenius, but you may call me Eric, and in the last episode we learned how to use magic. Let's see, they switched magic for... we have to have close combat in there too. We are just about to speak to the Prophet actually. What am I gonna do? Magic or fighting with a bow? And I think it's gonna be magic, so we're just gonna switch out that bow for the warlock. We'll see. He just summoned this bridge up. This bridge was broken before, but we killed a couple of skeletons, and then he summoned this thing. Or he actually just levitated the pieces of the bridge over here, and... well, I've made it past it. I thought he was gonna drop them, too. We're supposed to meet the Prophet now.
At last, you're here. Please, rise. You look much different than I'd imagined.
And you are talking louder than just a second ago.
Kind to you.
Shouldn't a prophet? Thank you.
While you require little introduction, my name is Kyra.
How long have I?
Years, I'm afraid. The world has changed much in that time. Your enemies have prospered much in your absence.
Is that why you freed me?
We've come to understand that your sister is in fact the chosen vessel of Azeral, Fire Lord of Antaloor. Gandohar has been drawing power from her since your capture. He has used this power to seize the throne and declare himself emperor, decimating all that stand to oppose him.
If Kyra is so important, why leave her behind?
Such an attempt might have cost us dearly. Gandohar is not yet aware of your role in the events that lay ahead, an advantage that will prove to be quite valuable.
Will we be able to help her?
That remains to be uncertain. The process Gandohar uses to draw power from Kyra is quite destructive. He has been able to offset the strain on her body using dark magic to make your strength her own. But one can only take so much. Removing her from the castle is an omen.
Listen, you better have a better answer than that.
While my gifts allow me to peer into the future, I am not often given the comfort of choosing what it is I'm shown. I saw great danger lurking within the walls of Castle Varkmar. If Gandohar is allowed to continue down this path, your sister's life won't be the only one lost.
You've seen this?
Come forward and allow me to show you.
I was standing a lot closer to her than that.
The end.
What makes you think we can stop it?
This is but a path, not destiny. I'm afraid we'll have to continue this later.
Are you all right?
I'll be fine. Dafar will lead you to your quarters. The orcs have assembled some equipment for you on the table to your right. Do take it with you.
I will. Thank you.
Welcome home.
I have leveled up. 2 skill points. We have accuracy, increased range damage. We have willpower, increased magic, regeneration, and mana. Strength, increased melee damage. And endurance, increased health and capacity. I will put 3 points into capacity. And I will continue leveling up, because I still have 1 more attribute point that I will put into strength for the moment. We also have 2 skill points. This is warrior skills, this is ranger skills, and this is mage skills. Battle cry. You must find skill book. You must find skill book. General skills. Ah, wait, that was all... interesting. Air mastery, earth mastery, elemental focus. Regenerates mana per second. Okay. Summoning... So I can only put that into water mastery. Fire mastery. And what's assassin skills? Crafting skills seems interesting, but we don't have anything to level up there at all. Metallurgy. What's this? Sneak. Speed in sneak mode. Increases. Trapper. I have to find a skill point. Death strike can be executed from 1.6 meters. And locksmith. Time plus 2 seconds and chance plus 4%. Ooh. Ooh. What does general skills say? Because I'm probably gonna put it into general skills first. This is elemental resistance, 4%. Resilience regenerates health per second. Not bad. Physical resistance, 2%. Poison resistance, 4%. Stamina. Next level, 21 stamina is what I have. I have not yet run out of stamina at all. But 4% resistance does not sound like a great thing. Like, how many points do you have to put in there to be good? It's a lot. Resilience doesn't seem like a bad idea. I will not all the time use health potions. And the first skill point does seem to be quite valuable because it increased it by 3. The next one will increase it only by 2. This would increase it by 12. The next one only increases it by 2. Wow. These always do 4%, don't they? And 2% and 4%, yeah. I'm fine with this one. What do we have in terms of weaponry? Defensive stance. Block reduces damage received by another 4%. Block breaker. Better retribution. Chance for critical hit. Counterattack damage increased. Okay. I have a feeling I don't want to put any more points into anything. Steady hand. I will probably be sneaking a lot. I'm fine with that for the moment. Good. We'll level up in the future more, and then we'll have more skill books or more things to put things into. Of course, now I have to level up equip 2 sets. Hey, equip it. This one too. Okay. So both sets have that equipped. You have a staff and you have that. But the amulet is equipped on both. Where's the amulet? There it is. Cool. So now we have to talk to Darfa. What's that? Oh, you gotta be joking. Let's actually check up on these. We have attributes of armor. Armors and their properties. The best armor, there is no such thing. The best armor is the one that saves your arse. There is no one defense to fit all circumstances except your own mind, meaning you must choose wisely. Thoughtful selection is the key, so spoke Diego Sosa de Torres Ramirez, the unmatched master of swordplay, and when it comes to the selection of armor, nobody knew better than Diego. Proper armor selection has saved many a warrior side, and improper selection has certainly seen many and more meet an early bloody end. A poorly made purchase could very well be one's last. There are many ways to tell the work of a gifted armorsmith from that of a novice. The best rule is to use the old adage, trust the known names, but that advice, while sound, can hardly always be used, for as in every craft there are many with skills not yet known widely enough for their names to be recognized. Armor making is no exception. Furthermore, the craft has not managed to avoid the plague of forgery, and many have, unfortunately, found out too late that the Darandeel breastplate they purchased, having paid their hard-earned money for what seemed to be good merchandise, was nothing but a sham that broke immediately under the duress of battle. By which time, of course, its owner could hardly go back and obtain armor from a more reliable source. And so the conclusion is clear. Only be careful analyzing the properties of the armor. Can its efficiency be certain? Efficacy. Ah, that is a word. Resistance to slashing. Slashing is the most basic attack in a sword fight. Thus, resistance to it will be a primary expectation of any armor. Whether done by sword, axe, or other edged weapon, the effect of a slashing cut may be devastating. When wearing armor, one must never forget to tie it properly if it comes in several parts, and to protect the junctures, especially the neck, the groin, and beneath the arms. Resistance to bludgeoning. A blunt wooden club may appear to be nothing to worry about, especially next to a razor-sharp sword. But blunt weapons are the leading cause of instant death on the battlefield. When hitting an unprotected body, that is. Armor that can protect against heavy impact from a blunt weapon is worth its weight in gold. Resistance to frost, worn to protect its wearer from the creeping death cold. This type of armor is most efficient against magical attacks or to protect your bum while sledding. Usually made of toughened or enchanted metal so as to prevent shattering in the event that solid freezing does occur. It will require the wearer to be strong. Resistance to fire. Fire can be one's best friend and his worst nightmare. Using fire-resistant armor is one way to make the odds fall overwhelmingly on the side of that gamble that favors your survival. An armor that can tolerate heat will protect its wearer from attacks by fire magic, as well as damage from the environment. Resistance to shock. Lightning has been the bane of many a tireless warrior seeking to defeat a mage. Therefore, shock-proof armor will be invaluable to one facing opponents adept in lightning magic. Such armors are usually built without metal parts. In some commonly available variants, this comes at the cost of decreased protection, e.g. from piercing or slashing. Resistance to poison. Poisons can be sneaky killers. An armor that resists poison but not piercing will, for example, be of little protection against a poison stiletto. It will protect its wearer in toxic environments and shield his or her body from such perils such as poison gas clouds, though. Just 2 uses of this incredibly valuable armor style. Resistance to spectral damage. Spectral attacks afflict the soul, making it difficult to imbue an armor in a way that will adequately protect you from it. However, some armorsmiths have figured out ways to create such protection, though proceed with caution. This will often come at the cost of another equally valuable defense. Okay, boy. Only 6 more to go. From the notebook of Alistair of Vernatia, the 4th design. As I feared, Zordahan again rejected the design of the tower. Rejected? What an understatement. But I suppose it's better to use that word than quote what he actually said. You will do better this time, bricklayer, on your femur, or your femur will be the tower's flagstaff. Yikes. But bricklayer, really, I should have told him right there. My ancestors were renowned architects when yours were still herding cows, and they never wore antlers on their head. Oh yes, the fire brims on the tip of my tongue, but alas, my balls are not made of steel, and I bit back my words. What's a man to do anyway? I foolishly accepted his invitation, impressed by him when he came to my workshop in Venetia. Such power. Pay no attention to the cost, architect. Think only of your reward. The Emperor surveying all from a tower of your design. And your weight in gold, if you can build it. His mood didn't change until I arrived. Zordahan's threats were subtle at first. Too late did I understand the meaning of his words. Everyone is an equal guest here, from the dungeons up. Then you were not ordered to build a privy tower. Redesign or I'll have you whipped tonight. Do you have any idea how long it takes to engineer a tower? I was little more than a prisoner, and since then it's been nothing but threats. Every day is the same. Yesterday Zordahan rejected my 3rd design proposal. Unnervingly, he keeps leaving bizarre instructions. Trapdoors, hidden switches, concealed chambers, and interfering even with my basic sketches. I still have yet to see the Emperor. In fact, I began to wonder, could it be that he does not even know I'm here? Could it be that he has not even seen my designs? But then why would Zordahan act in such a bewildering way? To what end? No matter. I will complete their wretched tower. The 4th design, with which I began today's entry, will be the one. I can feel it. But once I return to Vernatia, not a single architect worth his salt will come to work in this castle when I'm done telling how I've been treated. They may yet see that it does not pay to mistreat the man who built their secret passages and designed their escape ways. Notepad obtained during a routine search of the former quarters of the architect Alistair of Vernatia. Since the contents of this notepad were in breach of the confidentiality clause of the agreement, paragraph 14, as per Lord Zordahan's instructions, the contract and the contractor were annulled. Construction of the tower continues as planned, in accordance with the designs recovered from the ex-contractor's archives. Mikhailov, Captain Mikhailov. That's nice. He was annulled. That's great. Ancient cults and order, teachings of Trajalel, alchemist's agenda, nature of magic and Antaloor, architects of Antaloor. No. On the properties of plans. I will read this one, and I will read the properties of plans, but the other ones I don't. How many is this? That's great. Reflections on the Art of Alchemy by Dr. Ambrosius Meremy. What is alchemy? To some, alchemy is a little more than the art of transformation. Its ultimate, if not only, purpose being to change one substance into another. The substances usually being precious metals. But to me, alchemy is a philosophy of life. I see it as a way to find enlightenment, to eliminate those of my faults that I can, and to improve myself by acquiring as much knowledge as I can. Only then do I consider alchemy's traditional aspects, transmutation and creation. When I think back on the days of my youth, I see an empty shell. Thankfully, the art filled me with knowledge of the world and the substances and proportions which form it. This understanding is at the core of every good alchemist's goal. Transmutation is in its own fashion is spiritual. It represents the changes we all face as the world imbues us with its various parts. Our drama, our passions, our violence. Therefore, alchemy is not only a physical change in an item, but a change in that item's very soul. Make not the mistake of thinking this is any simple science. Well, I probably won't. Observations on certain herbs and their applied use by Dr. Ambrosius Meromy. I have spent the last 2 weeks attempting to find and research any other plants than those with which I have already experimented, but there seem to be none left. I feel slightly ashamed to admit that I have also noticed some of the previously plentiful edible plants nearby are now lacking, too. Blaming the animals. It had nothing to do with my stew making. None whatsoever. Here is my final list of plants and their properties. Now I suppose I should return home. Here then are the herbs which I encountered in these areas. Yellow root. Immediately upon taking, I observed what I felt was increased dexterity and reduced fatigue. The effect lasted about 2 minutes. In my experience, the herb was usually found in marshy areas and forests with regular rainfall. Hemlock. The reduction of fatigue was considerably quicker than the achieved use of yellow root. I observed healing properties when a poultice of this herb was placed over my scratches, picked from the small bog behind my summer cottage. Are you really just picking random herbs and holding them over the scratches on your body? I cannot see that being a very, safe way to experiment with plants. Oh well. Bloatroot felt healthier upon taking this root, but my feeling of fatigue increased. Not as if I needed sleep, but as if I had just woken up from having too much. Further research confirmed its relaxing qualities, so I would recommend administering this herb in stressful situations. Hot rot increased my strength substantially and seemed to give the feeling I was healing. Did a number on my memory, though. Where have I heard this before? Blue eye temporarily increased my vitality, but little else. Adder brother. This herb, uncommon but to the grassland regions, can be used to fight organic poisons. I first observed this property after an unfortunate encounter with a particularly aggressive wasp. Traveler's joy temporarily increases one's resistance to some forms of physical damage. Saffron permanently increases physical strength. Wow. Might of 9 regenerates one's bodily powers quickly, albeit temporarily. I was in fact quite surprised to encounter it in this region, for it is supposed to grow mostly in higher mountain areas. Arboruja, incredibly rare, but belongs in every alchemist's chest, an essential panacea. Hey. So it's already been 24 minutes. It's probably fair if I read one more book and then end the episode. Which one? The Teachings of Teriel, Ancient Cults and Orders, Nature of Magic, or Architects. I already read an architect book. Oh no. Nature of Magic in Antaloor, Gortarius' thesis. Table of contents. The theory, the practice, the power, the bonus. The theory. The art of magic is based on a system of painted cards. These cards used to predicate magic or draw the focus of the magician are placed inside an amulet where the spell where the spell shaped. There are 3 types of magic cards. Carrier cards determine the way a spell will be delivered. It could be in missile form, in an enchantment, or even a magic trap. Even cards do exactly what they should, determine the effect of the spell, from adding fire damage to invisibility, or even from adding fire damage to invisibility, or even a shower of anvils. Modifier cards change either the work of the effect card or the carrier card. Each spell must contain at least 1 carrier and 1 effect card in order to be shaped. Once you've added some cards, you can add more of the same type, stacking or increasing the card's strength. The maximum stack amount is determined by your skill level in wisdom, knowledge, and the 5 types of magic. However, each card has an independent number of times it can be stacked as well. The practice. Each spell must contain at least 1 carrier and 1 effect card to work. Proceed according to this recipe. Open Magic Amulet, select a desired slot and choose a card. Once you've added the first card, subsequent selections of the same card will stack it. Add some modifier cards if you want. Once your spell is done, you will see the amulet start to shimmer. This is a sign the spell you've just created is a valid one. Invalid spells cannot be cast. Close the amulet. You can now assign the spell to a button for real-time applications. Remember, when casting a spell, the most important thing is concentration. A halo will appear in front of you to mark your focus level. If you hold the incantation before it's ready, the spell won't work. Casting time of each spell depends on whether or not you've used a time card. Note that the more time cards you use, the longer the casting time becomes. The power. The most important thing about the spell creation is that it's possible to combine multiple spells into a single spell chain. In the previous chapter, The Practice, you learned how to prepare so-called one-section spells, but you can create spells having up to 3 sections. You must proceed thus. Prepare first valid spell and move your focus to the second section. Create another spell in the second spell section from the beginning, using the same rules. Close the amulet once you are finished. An example, your first section contains missile, fire and damage cards, followed by area, fire and damage cards. In the second section, the spell will shoot a missile dealing fire damage that upon contact creates a ring of fire. An area attack as well as a projectile. See, you've just mastered the world famous fireball spell, with which carrier cards are available in subsequent sections depends on the carriers used in previous sections. Also note that you have a limit to the number of carrier cards you can use for the entire spell, depending entirely on your knowledge skill level. Lastly, if you create a multi-section spell, the first sections don't require an effect card. The bonus. Some of my personal favorites. Trap and Life creates special types of traps. Set some before a battle and run away to hide or heal, then sit back and enjoy the show. Enchanted Life creates enormously useful healing spells. Will probably save your life on numerous occasions. Worth a look. Enchanted Life, okay. To summon your own minions, combine summon and stone cards to spawn a mighty and tough stone golem. You can't call yourself a powerful battle mage without the meteor shower spell. Use missile followed by area, time, fire, time and damage cards. You can't call yourself a powerful battle mage without the meteor shower spell. Okay. When fighting numerous opponents, combine missile, homing, spray, damaged lightning cards to acquire a spell that will strike several targets at once with a shocking storm of static electricity. Boy, I'm gonna have a lot of fun with that. Alright. I cannot talk anymore. I'm sorry you saw Our Lady Prophet with her nipples sticking out of her clothes. Yes, I said that. That was good enough. After that you saw a lot of literature. That's okay too, because you were happy about the first part. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope I will see you in the next episode as well. Until next time, bye bye.